You know, and as I've always said, it is such a blessing to be able to do what I'm doing here and a privilege to do what I'm doing here with this drone. Beautiful day here in Los Angeles. And as I was setting up and just doing my calibration, and I also checked the IMU, it's been a while since I did that. I was actually told that IMUs are a good idea to do when you go to a new spot. And so I went ahead and did it just for safety's sake. Okay, we're at max altitude right now. We're going to gimbal down just a little bit here. And I'm going to bring it down just a smidge here. There we go. Let me just go ahead and turn gimbal on over here. And as you can see in the distance there, you'll see a couple things. So you'll see Vincent Thomas Bridge. That's that big bridge there in the back. And we are going to try to steer clear of any of those cranes. Let me pull this down here. You'll see that. Oh, it's doing that. You'll see here, these are the tugboats that help pull, assist ships coming in and out of here. But that right there, right in front, center of frame coming down, that is the USS Iowa Battleship. And man, this is again something that I've been wanting to do this particular flight for a while. I checked all the authorizations to make sure that I was authorized to do this, and look at that thing, man. Wow. So cool. And I do want to correct myself earlier. So I had mentioned, just double, dude. I looked at the top of that ship. It kind of freaked me out a little bit because that thing is pretty high. And I just want to make sure I don't run into anything. So let me, I'm going to flash up and flash down, or flash down and flash up. Okay, yeah, I'm way clear of that. Okay. And man, that is just cool. Matter of fact, so let's just do a flyover for now. I'll go to just to the left of it. Oops, sorry. So cool, man. All right, so I'm a history geek. I actually from one of the cliffs in San Pedro, I watched them tow this thing into LA Harbor from, I believe it was in mothballs in San Francisco somewhere. And I mean, dude, like I said, I just totally geeked out on it big time. But that's me, man. So we're gonna back up a little bit. I'm not a big fan of backing this thing up sight unseen, but we'll do it anyways here. God, that's cool. All right, so let's just throttle up to go over this again. I'm gonna gimbal down a little bit more. I mean, look at those guns on the side and on the back, those cannons, sorry. Got that big old radar or something, whatever that is on top. So this particular ship, it's actually been featured in Hollywood movies. I don't believe they actually said or gave credit to the fact that it was the USS Iowa, but they used it, I believe, actually in the movie Battleship, and that was like one of those alien movies, I think, if I remember correctly. And that came out, I think, right around the 2000s, early 2000s. So this, I misspoke, it's not just the tugboats, this is actually the fire department right here. And I only knew that because I actually saw it on the map. That is just so crazy cool, dude. Totally geeking out on this big time. So I'm sorry, I don't think I finished my story earlier because I was so busy just geeking out on this thing. So yeah, they towed this in. It was in mothballs in San Francisco, and then for the longest time, the city of San Pedro and Los Angeles had been in negotiations to bring it down to become a museum down here in Los Angeles Harbor. and they were able to do it. So yeah, I was standing up kind of towards, I think it's called the Korean Bell Park, and so I was over there, and I just wanted to see them tow that thing in, and I was super excited because, like I said, I'm kind of a dork like that. All right, so I'm gonna just kind of keep it right here. I'm not gonna go closer to that bridge. I think I may try to come up here towards twilight to take a look at that thing, but man, that is just cool. Okay, so I'm gonna turn around. You can see, I mean, there's always ships coming in and out of here, and there's those cranes, and I mean, let me just pull up and you can see, I mean, that's just the vastness of LA Harbor. I mean, it just kind of goes all the way to the end of sight, quite frankly. So let's pull out here and see how far we can get down the harbor here. Right now, from where I'm standing, I was roughly about 2,500 feet. I have this thing set to roughly about just north of 5,000 feet. So that pink building here, kind of middle of frame, so that is, I believe it's called the Los Angeles Maritime Museum, and inside it's just kind of a tribute to this harbor. There's a bunch of model battleships in there too as well, and kind of the history of them. And so yeah, I when my kids were still babies, and I was able to go and bring them in there on our play dates, I would do that, and they were somewhat interested. So at that time. All right, so here's some more of those shipping containers. And on a side note, when I was here, and I'll say this, I'm actually, and I even told this to the young man, I got approached by security when I was setting up and doing my calibration, and he just wanted to make sure that I wasn't doing anything I wasn't supposed to, and that I was properly licensed and all that good stuff. So, fortunately, since I'm doing this for recreational purposes, I fall under the category where I don't need a commercial license to be doing this. But as I said earlier, and I said to the young man, I really, really appreciated him just asking. So it makes me feel like people are doing what they're supposed to be doing and keeping us safe. So they recently did a whole lot of construction and revamping down here in LA Harbor. So I mean, if you look to the, I'll gimbal here to the left, I mean, we saw this earlier. I mean, that's just pretty industrial, right? I mean, that's basically these container ships coming in and out from overseas, getting unloaded, getting those containers onto trucks and onto trains and all that good stuff. And again, yeah, I believe this is one of the largest ports, busiest ports, that is, in North America. Just skimming around here so you can see that. Okay. I do notice that my RC connection is going down. I'm going to go ahead and turn around and face it. Sure enough, as soon as I faced it, RC connection came right back up again. But what I want to point out down below here, so this is the San Pedro, used to be the San Pedro Fish Market. It was a great place to go and hang out, restaurants, all that stuff. You could grab a harbor cruise out of here too as well, but they've done a whole lot of construction to it, and I think they're just making it better, and so that's going to be exciting when it's done. It's actually a little bit more further up here, sorry, but this is part of it right there, you can see. And they recently did just a ton of construction down here. So this whole area, I mean, it was nice before, but they've really kind of made this into a nice park. And it looks like, I mean, they're not done yet. I mean, this is going to be pretty phenomenal when it's done, I think. So I remember taking my kids down here when they were super young, and there was like a carousel ride down there too as well, all that good stuff. But everything was pretty old. But man, I remember on the weekends this place would be packed, families and such, just enjoying the LA Harbor area. push out a little bit. I still got about 48% left on the battery. So to give you kind of an idea of the ambiance here, I mean, it's a little bit muggy down here for sure, but again, another beautiful day in Southern California. But in the distance, I mean, it's like a mix of seagulls. You can hear the water too as well, but you know, you hear the sounds of machines and lifting machines in the background. So I mean, this really is a busy harbor for sure. On the left-hand side over here, I believe, yep, that is correct. On the left-hand side over here, that is the Coast Guard headquarters for Los Angeles. And you can see some of the Coast Guard ships there. And then off to the right here, these warehouses here. I'm only bringing this up, probably looks pretty boring, but there is a ton of Hollywood movies and TV shows that are filmed inside these buildings. And I believe, I mean, these were just old shipping warehouses, but there's just a ton of Hollywood productions that are almost always being filmed here, you know, like on a weekly basis. So it's funny because when you watch movies or TV shows and they're doing warehouse films, or you see a warehouse in the background, good chance it's here. So we're about 4,300 feet. I'm still going to push it out just a bit. So right in the back there, so that is another ship museum. I'm trying to remember the name of it, but it was used during wartime, but it's not a battleship. I think it was like a personnel vessel of some sort. But anyways, okay, I'm beginning to run a little bit low on battery, so I'm going to turn this bad boy around, start heading back towards where I'm at. I mean, I got like 38% left on the battery, but as I've said in past videos, and if you watch my other videos, I'm really big on just playing it safe, so. Such a cool view, man. So in the background, you see San Pedro, and off to the right is Long Beach. Let's just go right over this vessel right here. If I have enough battery, I'll just do one more flyby over the USS Iowa Battleship. Oops. This way. So as I fly, the things that I found most important is always looking at the distance, the height of the drone, battery, of course, speed of the drone, satellite connection, and also the RC connection. I think that's a huge one, because what ends up happening is if you totally lose RC connection for too long, what ends up happening is the automatic return to home function clicks on, which is a great function. But when that comes on, it does exactly what it sounds like. It goes to a certain preset height and then just starts trucking back home again. So cool, man. All right, there's the Battleship Iowa right there. Now, behind that ship, and I don't know the ship name direction or which side is which. I know there's like port and starboard and all that stuff. Couldn't tell you which is which. But we'll just call it on the back side of that ship. There is a canal which goes kind of perpendicular to this canal that we're on right here, and that's where the vast majority of cruise ships that come in and out of Los Angeles to pick up passengers or drop them off, that is where they go. And we're talking the big ones, so like the Princess cruise ships, all that stuff. They all come here, they dock, and this is their Los Angeles port. Or hear the drone, but it's a pretty busy harbor, but it's kind of close to where I'm at. And like I said, we're just gonna go right over the USS Iowa again, and then we'll return home. again, I really view this as quite the privilege to do what I'm doing. Again, we're cruising right about 383 feet, so I mean, that is just a behemoth, man. When you look at that, I mean, that was all around the world she has been, and I think I remember reading that it was actually one of the battleships present during the surrender of Japan, so it was there among a lot of the other U.S. ships. I believe she was one of them. Okay, so you can see right there, middle of frame, you can see that canal that goes perpendicular. So, all right. All right, we just got a return to home, and it's because it says the battery is low. Again, great function. I'm not too far away, only about 1,500 feet, and I got roughly about 19% left on my battery, so I should be okay. Man, that was such a cool flight. I'm so glad that I came here to do this. I was a little bit nervous because, again, I mean, new spot, new place. There's a whole lot of transmission, obviously, around here, Wi-Fi, a lot of things that could go sideways. But I mean, this is what it's about, is just trying new things, and again, really happy that I get a chance to do this. So. Put that gimbal all the way down there. There's my truck, and there is the famous orange square, and that little ant right next to that spot, that's me. So yeah, I really feel kind of blessed that I get to be here in this part of the United States that has just so many opportunities for me to go out and explore like this. As I've said before in past videos, man, I'm just having a really good time with this hobby. It's fun kind of just going on Google Maps and checking out spots that look like they might be pretty scenic or cool to bring the drone to, and then of course checking with the FAA to make sure that it's okay for me to be there, or even asking for approval to be here. So I mean, it's just a really cool experience. And then obviously the maintenance of the drone, just making sure everything's working properly before each flight. So anyways, and probably have to adjust it just a little bit. Here we go.